Are there concluding thoughts or anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked?
There's a group I'm associated with that is 40 families that have decided to get together to help fund scale social enterprises. And there's a group of them, 4 families, that have gotten together to say, I want to focus on learning disabilities. So social enterprises and others that are focused in that area, and those individual families could not have afforded to get together to fund the interventions and the enterprises that they want to do, and they could not add the value that they could have together. And so understanding how these collaboratives come together, how you connect these philanthropically oriented families to work together. And what I found is another tool, which is a small group of people, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it doesn't really matter, who are collaborative glue, who hold people together. And so what we find is those 4 families are very happy to pay for somebody who's going to make sure that between the meetings, they work together. Between the meetings, they share information. They share knowledge, and then they identify things they can work on together. They lobby together, and they love talking about these passions. And so what I had been feeling in the past, and some people going into the nonprofit space, said, we're going to show people the best nonprofits to fund. The best analytically oriented, good return on investment, impact oriented, but it lost the heart. And so these are not just investments. These are great opportunities to lower suffering in the world, to have an impact on the big causes of the day, but also to get passionately connected, to throw in all of your resources that you have, your knowledge and your network with other people, rather than just waiting on trying to evaluate the returns and have more of a cold relationship. So it's bringing heart back, it's bringing knowledge back, it's bringing community back to a lot of causes that we think it's the only way you're going to solve them.
I'm so glad you said that. You have no idea how appropriate that is in the context in which people are going to hear this, which is really a study in part of strategic philanthropy versus heart-driven philanthropy in community. So I think it's very meaningful, and I'd love to hear you. I'm so glad you had a chance to say that.
My concluding thoughts would really be, 2 things. One, of all the resources we've talked about, our most valuable, every one of us, is our time. And, I believe that if we're giving our most valuable resource, what we get back needs to be greater than what we're giving. And there's risk involved, right? When you're building a relationship, when you're venturing into the unknown, you have to make a choice to take some risk that, the ROI that is going to happen over here when you're sitting at your desk, answering emails is different. And so part of it is being willing to make that choice, to give some of your time, to try these things out. And then the last thing I would say is just, I think we get so caught up in the snare, what I call the snare of preparation, that we think everything needs to, with Jeffersonian dinners, with just, trying all of the tools and techniques in the book. We wait too long. We wait too long, by the way, to invite people to give as well. I think people develop their commitment in the act of giving. And so I just really encourage people to not feel like you have to have all the resources up front and get going. Get going and build them as you go, and you'll be surprised at how quickly that will all happen.
Thank you so much, both of you, for your time today and for the book and for all the things you shared with us, both in the book and today.
Thank you, Phil.